Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 2020 board meeting. We will begin with an invocation.
Father God, we come to you tonight in the name that is above every name, and that's the name of Jesus. And we thank you for your many blessings on our lives. Father, tonight in this meeting, we ask for clarity of mind as you continue to lead, guide, and direct this Board of Education in Union County. We ask that you just keep them in your mercy, with your hedge of protection around them, as your mantle of love is always over them. And we thank you for everything you're going to do tonight. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Weaver, for being here tonight. We will now have, if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We have the cadets from Monroe High School here to lead the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have not figured this out how to hit pause. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And board members, that brings us to approval of the agenda.
I have an amendment to the agenda. Under 5C, personnel agenda and addendum if needed. We can strike if needed. And I would also like on that same line item, say, and the reorganization of the Human Resources Department into the Finance Department and Legal Department.
I'll offer the second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Are there any other recommendations for edits or changes to tonight's agenda? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Board members, if you would join me at the front, we will have the John H. Crowder Service Award with Miss Candace Sturdivant.
The late John H. Crowder spent more than 30 years serving the children of Union County. As a living tribute to him and his legacy, the Union County Board of Education awards the John H. Crowder Service Award every month to an outstanding high school student who is making a difference in their school and community. Look at you. Students who receive this award are not only academically successful, but also have an established history of community service. Tonight, we award the John H. Crowder Service Award to a very special student from Monroe High. Jeanette Gonzalez Chavarria, I apologize. And you deserve to have your name enunciate correctly. So how about you say it? No pressure.
Janet Gonzalez Chavarria.
And thank you. Jeanette is an outstanding student who is a leader in her school and in her community. Jeanette has participated in the College Options Foundation Academic Bowl and leads mentors in the East Elementary Mentor Program. She is also a very active member in her school's JROTC program, where she serves as a class leader and key logistics officer. In her community, Jeanette has regularly volunteered her time to serve in more than a dozen community service events during the past 3 years, including Operations Christmas Child, One Blood Blood Drive, War Boards over Monroe Air School, and more. In the future, Janet plans to enlist in the Army and earn a degree in nursing. Wingate University does offer a program in nursing. Janet epitomizes leadership both at school and in her community. And the Board of Education is we're extremely proud to recognize her as the February recipient of the John H. Crowder Service Award.
The UCPS Influencers Employee Recognition Program celebrates the passion, dedication, and exemplary work ethic of UCPS employees who go the extra mile every day. Each month, our staff members, students, families, and community members nominate a UCPS employee for this award to recognize the positive influence they have had in the lives of others. Last month, more than 160 nominations were submitted for the UCPS Influencers Award. Tonight, I am honored to present our UCPS influencers for February 2020, Benton Heights Elementary School of the Arts teacher Frank Kestevens and bus driver Paul Warner. I will now invite the nominators to the podium to read their submissions and recognize our honorees' accomplishments.
Good evening. My name is April Whitener, and I am currently a math tutor at the Health Sciences Academy at Monroe Middle. I will never forget my first day of kindergarten at Benton Heights Elementary. I was apprehensive about everything, especially being around tons of new people that I had never met. I walked into the music room with my class, and that is when I saw Frank Kestevens. I had met Frank at his church a couple times. Anyone who knows Frank understands how his smile, positive attitude, and sweet spirit can light up even the darkest of rooms. As a young student, his smile made my first day of kindergarten better, and I had the pleasure of being a student in his music class until 3rd grade. Fast forward to now. Today, I am 31 years old with 3 children of my own and have earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education. I am honored to call Frank not only a mentor, but also a friend. He has been there through every step of my life, the good and the bad, to encourage, pick up, and lead forward. I became an educator because of people like him who made the choice to come to school every single day with a smile and a positive attitude. I became an educator so that I could have that same positive attitude with my students and have an influence over their lives the way that Frank Kestevens has had over mine and over the thousands of other students that have been under his wing during the 30-plus years he has been a teacher. His favorite poem from Robert Frost quotes, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by." And that has made all the difference. I, for one, am so thankful that he took that less traveled road and for the legacy he is leaving for so many others in our profession. I can think of no one who deserves recognition the way that this man deserves it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Therese Turman. I'm an instructional assistant at Western Union. Mr. Warner is devoted to all his students that he drives to and from school every day. He views each child as his own. He is always willing to do the extra mile, from returning a jacket or a lunchbox that was left on his bus, and also doing an extra drive in the afternoon routes to make sure every child arrives home safely. It is impossible to mention all the extra Mr. Warner does during his day, but I think this letter from a student says it all. Dear Mr. Paul, you're the best bus driver in the whole world. You are the best. I hope I stay on this bus forever. You are so nice and cool, and I want to be just like you when I grow up. But this bus is like my happy place. Thank you so much for keeping me safe, and thank you for driving me home to my house and school. As you can see, Mr. Warner influencing the lives of our students each day and is so deserving of this award. Thank you, Mr. Warner, for all you do.
Congratulations. I will now read the UCPS Influencers Proclamation from the Board of Education and Dr. Houlihan. Whereas the Union County Board of Education values the hard work of each employee within the district, whereas performance is an essential part of district operations, whereas Frank Castevens and Paul Warner exemplify the performance, dedication, teamwork essential to the success of the district and its students. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Education for Union County Public Schools, and Dr. Andrew G. Houlihan, Superintendent, hereby proclaim Frank Castevens and Paul Warner as the UCPS influencers for the month of February 2020. Congratulations, Mr. Castevens and Mr. Warner, on this outstanding honor, and thank you for all that you have done to be a positive influence on the others each and every day. Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight, I'd like to start our special recognitions by recognizing Assistant Superintendent of Communications and Community Relations, Tahira Stalbert, for earning the Accreditation in Public Relations Professional designation. Ms. Stalbert successfully completed a comprehensive examination process governed by the Universal Accreditation Board. Widely known throughout the public relations industry as a prestigious symbol of distinction and professionalism, the accreditation in public relations reflects the mastery of knowledge, skills, and abilities to succeed in public relations. Practitioners who achieve the designation are demonstrating their commitment not only to public relations profession, but also to the strong code of ethics and betterment of their organization and clients. On behalf of Union County Public Schools, once again, congratulations, Ms. Stalbert, on earning this designation. Thank you.
Many hats. Tonight, I'd also like to recognize the UCPS communications team for receiving 12 Blue Ribbon Awards at the North Carolina School Public Relations Association's annual awards ceremony. Blue Ribbon Awards are the highest honor a school district can receive from the state's leading organization for school communications and public relations professionals. Collectively, our amazing team received 11 awards in the following categories: digital media engagement, electronic media, excellence in writing, marketing, publications, and special events and programs. Best of the Best Blue Ribbon Awards are presented to the best overall entry in each category. I am pleased and proud to say that the UCPS communications team won the 2019 Best of the Best Award and digital media engagement for its district-wide coverage of Start with Hello Week. Congratulations to our team.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Houlihan. Tonight, I am honored to recognize Kensington Elementary School Counselor Caitlin Hamilton. On January the 8th, U.S. Secret Service Special Agent Eric Trisecki presented Ms. Hamilton with a certificate of appreciation from the U.S. Secret Service Director James M. Murray in recognition of her contributions to the federal law enforcement agency's childhood outreach program. For nearly 2 years, Ms. Hamilton helped to coordinate 22 classes for students in 3rd through 5th grade and outlined a comprehensive schedule for 3rd graders to receive the childhood outreach program presentations each year. Through her efforts, the Secret Service's Charlotte District Office is now one of the highest producing offices for childhood outreach in the entire country. Congratulations, Ms. Hamilton.
Tonight, I'm honored to recognize the 41 teachers who renewed or earned their national board certification in 2019. This certification is widely regarded as the highest credential in the teaching profession, and the rigorous process typically takes from 1 to 3 years to complete and measures what accomplished teachers and counselors should know about and be able to do. In recognition of this outstanding accomplishment, the UCPS teachers who earned or renewed their national board certification in 2019 will receive plaques later this week. Congratulations to the following teachers who earned their certification. Kimberly Kastner from Stallings Elementary. Jennifer Comer from Cuthbertson High School. Angela Colacerto from Marvin Ridge Middle. Randall Daudio from Porter Ridge Elementary. Carolyn Fry from East Elementary. Christina Montgomery from Shiloh Valley Primary. We'd also like to congratulate the following teachers who renewed their certification. Deborah Allers from Waxhaw Elementary. Christina Castillo from Rock Rest Elementary. Kevin Clark from Rock Rest Elementary. Emily Culberson from Cuthbertson Middle. Amanda Lee Furr from Unionville Elementary. Lashena Gaines from Rocky River Elementary. Catherine Glasheen from Union Elementary. Jill Grossome from UC Virtual. Jennifer Guckenberger from Cuthbertson Middle. Alyssa Hammersmith from Cuthbertson High. Karen Harper from Cuthbertson High. Christina Hill from Weddington Elementary. Nydia Horde from Weddington Elementary. Lisa Holler from Parkwood Middle. Eric Hopkins from Piedmont High. Krista James from Rock Rest Elementary. Mindy Jenkins from Fairview Elementary. Susan Jones from East Union Middle. Carolyn Monicas from Sun Valley Middle. Danielle Martin from Cuthbertson High. Tina Plyler from Wesley Chapel Elementary. Cynthia Price from East Union Middle. Amber Riddle from Health Sciences Academy at Monroe Middle. Maya Schultz from Cuthbertson High. Lisa Shaw from Western Union Elementary. Christina Starnes from Porter Ridge Middle. Danny Sullivan from Federal Programs and AIG. Stacy Vickers from Piedmont High, Christopher Webb from Cuthbertson Middle, Jennifer Wells Lewis from Cuthbertson High, Zuma West from East Union Middle, Allison Whitley from Fairview Elementary, Jessica Wiggs from Newtown Elementary, Susan Wilhelm from Parkwood Middle, and Jennifer Urick from Porter Ridge High. Congratulations again. Dr. Houlihan, Board of Education, that concludes our recognitions for tonight.
Okay, board members, that brings us to public comments. 30 minutes has been allotted for public comments. Community members wishing to speak during public comments should state their name, address, and phone number prior to making any comments. The board will not hear in open session complaints about school performance of school personnel, personnel issues, or confidential student matters. Individuals may address the board for a maximum of 3 minutes. Any person who is an appointed representative for a group may address the board for 5 minutes. Should a community member wish to seek information or share items that may not be shared during public comments, our staff are available to address your concerns or provide information. We have Tom Bulla from HR who is available. We have Dr. Brad Breedlove, Chief Academic Officer, and Jared McCraw, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, here to assist. And the first person up is Melissa Jackson. Melissa Jackson is not here. So that would bring us to Dalton Hood. Not here. Stuart Purr or Pun? Purr.
All right. Well, my name is Stuart Purr. My address is 2003 Bridleside Drive in Indian Trail. And need my phone number too? It's 704-821-3049. And I'm speaking today in support of a legislative breakfast, Gary Side's initiative. I would very much like you to meet with our legislators and to remind them that although they work in a politically divided arena, that the matter of teacher pay and education budget is one on which ostensibly the entire legislature agrees, and hopefully they'll be able to come together to pass a budget that covers all of those matters, and that every dollar spent on education is one not just spent but invested in all of our futures. That's all I have.
Next, we have Morgan Purr.
Can I use the same information that my dad had? Or should? Hi, my name's Morgan Purr, and I'm from Sun Valley Middle School, and I'm a Sun Valley Middle School student. As a student, I experience the lack of money in our school system pretty much daily. From art classes with no art supplies to fundraisers for choir music, it's just something that affects students and teachers alike. I support anything you guys can do to get our legislators to pass a budget and bring money back to our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. And last, we have Ms. Claudia Sandoval.
Good evening. My name is Claudia Sandoval. I live at 202 Abbotsbury Court, Waxhaw, North Carolina. My phone number is 704-993-6854. Thank you to the board members for this time tonight. As you know, my focus is usually centered around safety. And in fact, Say Something Week is March 2nd through the 6th, and I hope that UCPS schools will participate. But today, I do want to voice my support for the recommendation made by Mr. Gary Sides at the January 28th Finance Committee meeting. Mr. Sides at that date recommended a legislative breakfast with our Union County delegation to advocate for an education budget when legislators return to the North Carolina General Assembly in April. It's my understanding that the lack of state budget has left UCPS with a hiring freeze and making tough decisions. And I understand also that some teachers have been moved to different schools and some students have had to shift to different classes. Please understand that I do not blame the board for any of this, but rather I'm asking the board to advocate for UCPS as Mr. Sides suggested last week. The state provides a little over 60% of UCPS's budget. And so I too am advocating for UCPS on my own by contacting my state legislatures. Last week, I called my representative, Craig Horn, and asked him if he would come back to the table, and he implied to me that he would. I called Governor Cooper's office multiple times. I heard back today, and I'm supposed to get something in writing, which I will forward to you as soon as I get it. But the point is, I urge others to do the same, that it's not just our board advocating, we as constituents also need to advocate. Students and teachers alike need stability, and I'm passionate about this issue because to me, safety is not just physical. It's complemented by the social and emotional learning and mental safety of our children, and safety also depends on the health and well-being of our educators. With UCPS leading the efforts around safety, I feel confident that the board knows our educators play a big role in making our schools safe, healthy places for learning and growing. I know every board member here is dedicated to our students' success and understand their success depends on the well-being of our educators. And it's with this in mind that I implore you to raise this issue with our legislators and with Governor Cooper. Unfortunately, communications between our state leaders has been toxic, and now that toxicity is affecting the education of our children. I realize that attempts in the fall of 2019 to pass education bills failed, but it's a new year, and legislators must come to the table again to do their jobs. Our economy is doing well, and Forbes magazine just named North Carolina the business state for the third year in a row, or the #1 business state. I want our legislators to give our students and teachers what they need and deserve. I hope the school board will stand up for our students and teachers by speaking with our state legislators and telling them we need an education budget. Thank you.
Okay, board, we need to approve the minutes from open session on January 9th, 2020.
I move that we approve the open session minutes.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. And that brings us to the amended consent agenda.
I move that we approve the amended consent agenda.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And now we will have the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I want to say to the board and the public that it's good to be back. I apologize for having to miss the January meeting. As you may have seen, I had not missed a board meeting in my tenure here with UCPS, and that flu is legit. So if you've gotten it this season, I feel your pain. If you haven't gotten it, Please cross your finger. It was nasty. So I'm glad to be back in action. February 3rd through 7th, this week is National School Counseling Week. And I want to take a moment this evening to recognize all of our UCPS counselors. Your job is extremely important, and we all want you to know how much we value you and appreciate all that you do for our students and families. And I would ask that if you see a counselor this week, please give them a hug and say thank you, or a high five and say thank you, because they deserve a much appreciation. February is also National Career and Technical Education Week across the nation. And UCPS, we call this department our Career Readiness Department. And did you know that UCPS has 22 pathways and 12 career academies that we offer to students? Our phenomenal teachers work tirelessly every day to make sure that we provide relevant learning opportunities, apprenticeships, internships, real-world learning. And so to our CTE teachers and staff, we want to say thank you for your dedication to Team UCPS, and we look forward to celebrating you this month. It's hard to believe, but we are in year 4 of Books and Brackets. This reading challenge and event has become a major part of our community. We're excited to bring it back for this year's 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. We will kick off Books and Brackets at Stallings Elementary on February the 27th that morning. And then, of course, join us on Fridays at our regularly scheduled time to look at Facebook Live to see who will advance to the next round. So stay tuned to our social media, and we look forward to engaging our elementary students in this challenge once again. And finally, as you heard earlier in public comment, I do want to iterate some comments that I've made publicly about the current state of our budget. As was alluded to, and as I mentioned publicly at our last board finance committee meeting, it is correct. We do not have a state budget that is reflective of this year's allotment or budget. Our state budget that we have received has come directly based on the allotments that we received last year. And as I said then, and I'll say again, the value of the dollar has changed from one year to the next. We have increased cost, we have increased staff, we have increased and absorbed a lot of additional services. And we've been fortunate that we've been able to do that. But I do want you to know that we have been working since November to really analyze our spending, analyze our staffing, reducing some staff where we can through attrition. As I told our principals, we're in a challenge, but we're not in a crisis. And there is a big difference between the two. I would encourage you to go back and look at the Finance Committee's meeting. The link is on our website. You can find a little bit more detail as to what I spoke to. But I do want to say a big thank you to our board and our local elected officials for their advocacy, for your advocacy. I do believe, I know that in the state of North Carolina, this is the longest we've ever gone without a public school budget. This is a serious issue, but is one that as a school superintendent and talking with my colleagues, we're all facing challenges. But again, are we in crisis mode? No. We have a solid financial plan to end this school year, and we're making some really hard decisions and gathering stakeholder input for the next year in case there is not a state budget there as well. So we take this very seriously. But again, and I have personally spoken to our elected officials and have advocated on behalf of UCPS students and families, and hope that we have some resolution to this impasse. I would encourage you, if you want to advocate, to go to your elected leaders in the state of North Carolina, both locally and statewide. But again, thank you to our board and to our local leaders for the many, many attempts that we've been making. And we hope that this impasse will be resolved sooner rather than later. So thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Houlihan. We're now going to have a 2020 North Carolina School Board Association Legislative Committee service. And I sent the board members an email from Raleigh about a week ago asking if anyone had an interest in applying to serve on the legislative committee in Raleigh. And there were some dates that you would have to 100% commit to being there. And I heard from Mr. Sides that he expressed an interest and would commit to that if he did have an opportunity to serve on this committee, that he would be in Raleigh on our behalf for those dates that were included in the email. Mr. Sides has sent me already filled out the application, and I would appreciate a motion to allow Mr. Sides to move forward with this application process from our board.
I move that we nominate Gary Sides for the 2020 NCSBA Legislative Committee service.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you so much. And Mr. Sides, thank you for offering to do this and represent Union County. So it's not a guarantee that Mr. Sides will be chosen, but I think it would be, being the 6th largest school district in North Carolina, I think, and in my personal opinion, the best educators and schools in North Carolina, I think they should absolutely strongly consider Mr. Sides to serve on this committee and represent Union County Public Schools. So thank you. Okay. That brings us to policies for review. Mrs. Morris.
Good evening, members of the board. Before you, you have 5 revised policies and 1 proposed new policy for your review. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris. Okay, we do not have any closed session decisions, so we will move forward to board comments. And I would like to begin as the chair for this board. I have served in this position for 3 years now, out of the 5 years on the Board of Education. And it has been a challenge to not have a state budget and working off of 2018-19 dollars. But I want to clarify some misconceptions in the community that as the chair of this board, working with an incredible team of board members, I have had the privilege to appoint you as liaisons to our Board of County Commissioners. And we have liaisons to our General Assembly, representatives. And just because we have not spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars to hold a breakfast does not mean that we are not on the phone talking to Representative Dean Arp, Representative Mark Brody, Representative Craig Horn, Senator Todd Johnson. We are in communication with them quite often. And if the board would like to host a breakfast, which we have done in the past, we have not done it every year, but from time to time we have invested in that. I'm not sure that that is money well spent, considering the fact we don't have a state budget right now. But I think a phone call, many phone calls go a long way. So I appreciate Mr. Sides asking to have a breakfast, and I appreciate the community, but you know, that's not free, folks. So but that does not mean that that all 9 of us are not doing our elected duty to work on behalf of Union County Public Schools. Because just as I believe our school district is the best in the state, I think the school board is the best in the state. And I appreciate the efforts of every one of my fellow board members in communicating with our elected officials, who I know that when the budget was vetoed, felt so strongly in giving our teachers raises and bonuses that they came up with mini budgets. And they sent the governor a mini budget. And the last one that I recall reading and talking to our representatives about, it was a 4.9% increase with a $1,000 bonus. And when that was sent to the governor's office, it was vetoed. So I think we need to continue to encourage and support, appreciate, and thank our representatives who are continuing to come up with everything they can to support our schools, which they always have. But I think we need to be leaning on the governor to stop holding our schools and our teachers hostage for Medicaid reform. It is not fair. It is not right. And that is my personal opinion. I would welcome any other comments, but please know that the 9 people that are sitting on this board, just because we're not having a breakfast and doing a dog and pony show and spending lots of money that could go into the classroom, doesn't mean that we're not talking to our state representatives for our incredible teachers and administrators.
Madam Chairman, I would just like to echo your comments. Folks may not realize we got a son-in-law, one of the legislators right here. So I don't think he doesn't have too many opportunities to bend the fellow's ear. And Todd Johnson and I attend the same church. He sits a row behind me. So during the summer when it was intense, about every Sunday I'd show up. You got a budget yet? You got a budget yet? So yes, we do communicate. I would, at the risk of seeming partisan, I would like to comment that I think it is terribly unfair to the educators, both licensed and unlicensed professionals in this state, for our governor to veto the education budget to use as leverage the fine educators of this state to advance another part of his program. That, in my mind, is a separate discussion that is certainly should be debated, should be considered, hopefully compromised, but don't hold our teachers and educators and staff hostage to partisan political games. On another note, I would like to recognize the passing of Ms. Carolyn Louder, who served for many years in the school system as an educator and as a member of this board, as well as board chair for some years. And she passed away this past week, 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. And I would just like to offer my condolences to her family and recognize her service to education in Union County. Thank you.
I would also like to recognize that this is Black History Month, and congratulations again to many of our Black leaders in the room, because many of our students do look up to each of you. So thank you.
And I also would like to offer my condolences to the Louder family, and she served a great deal for the community and school system.
I would like to just remind our board members of the 2 dates I gave you for our joint meetings with the Board of County Commissioners. I believe it was February 24th and April 20th that we will have joint meetings with our county partners. We do not have times or details at this as of tonight, but please watch your email, and as soon as we have that figured out, we will make sure that all of you know, but please reserve that time on your calendar.
And the Strategic Planning, Information Technology, and Transportation Committee is scheduled to meet Wednesday, February 26th, 7:30 here at the PDC.
The Facilities Committee is scheduled to meet on Wednesday, February 19th at 9 a.m. at the PDC. And the Finance Committee is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, February 25th at 8:15 at the PDC.
And Curriculum Committee will meet on the last Thursday of the month, the 27th, in this very room at 9 a.m.
Mrs. Morris, do we have a date for the policy?
Yes, it's the same day as the SPTT 26th,
Okay.
I believe, at 9 o'clock here.
So February 26th at 9 o'clock following SPIT. Okay, are there any other board announcements? Okay, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you so much.